Martin is preparing for the annual chili cook-off in Southern Pines. He is making a 3-bean chili. The recipe calls for 3/4 a pound of kidney beans, 1 1/12 pounds of pinto beans, and 5/6 pounds of black beans. How many pounds of beans is that in all? Record your answer as a mixed number or improper fraction. So as I'm reading this problem, I'm realizing that what we're doing is we are totaling the number of pounds of beans. So I'm going to be adding. I'll add the 3/4 plus 1 1/12 plus 5/6 to get the total number of pounds of beans. From here I notice that I have a mixed number, and I need to change this mixed number to an improper fraction. So I'm going to multiply the whole number, the 1, by the denominator 12, and I get 12. Then I'm going to take that 12 and add the numerator value, which is 1, and this gives me the new numerator of this fraction. And the new numerator is 13. And the denominator remains the same, it remains a 12. Then I'm going to go ahead and record the rest of the problem, the 3/4 and the 5/6. Next, I realize that I do not have the same denominator. And to add fractions, I need to have the same size pieces, the same size slices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out the denominator that I need to use. I'm going to figure out the least common multiple, or you could say least common denominator. Here's a hint. A lot of times it's the largest denominator that you have. So I'm going to think about the 4s and think about if I can count to 12. So let me go ahead and start 4, 8, 12. Yes, I end up at 12. Then for the 6s, I know that I can count by 6s and get to 12. 12 is a multiple of 6. And 12, of course, is also a multiple of 12. So our least common multiple is 12. So the denominator I need for each fraction is a 12. So I need to change 3/4 so that it has a denominator of 12. Now, I've been having a lot of students who think for some reason that they can just change the denominator from 4 to 12 and then leave the numerator a 3. You can't do that. If you change the denominator, you also need to change the numerator. So let me erase this numerator. And then let's think about the pattern. What do you multiply 4 by to get to 12? Well, 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. And I just need to do the same thing to the numerator. I need to also multiply 3 by a factor of 3. So 3 times 3 gives me 9. So 3/4 becomes 9/12. 9/12 is equivalent to 3/4. Those are equivalent fractions. I'm going to copy the 3/12, or the 13/12, sorry, because it already has a denominator of 12. And then I need to go ahead and change the 5/6 so that it has a denominator of 12. So again, let's look at that pattern. 6 is being multiplied by 2 to get us the denominator of 12. So I'm going to multiply the numerator by that same factor, 2. 5 times 2 gives me 10. So 5/6 becomes 10/12. And now that we are adding the same size pieces, 12ths, we are going to figure out the total number of 12ths that we have. So I'm going to add 9 and 13. So we can start with adding 9 and 13. 9 and 3 gives us 12, carry the 1. 1 and 1 makes 2, so that's 22. And then I add 10 to 22, so that would give me 32. Now let's think about it. Can I reduce 32/12? Well, 32 and 12 are both even. So I can divide 32 and 12 by 2. You can divide even numbers by 2. Half of 32 is 16, and half of 12 is 6. Well, guess what? I can reduce that again. 16 and 6 are both even numbers. Remember, even numbers end in 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. So I'm going to take 16/6 and divide the numerator and the denominator by 2 to reduce this fraction. 16 divided by 2 is 8, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Wow. So now I can either record my answer as 8/3 a pound of beans, 8/3 pounds beans, or I can change it to an improper fraction. To change it to an improper fraction, think about how many of the denominator fit into the numerator. Basically, you're thinking about how many wholes you have. So how many 3/3 I have? Well, 3 goes into 8 2 times, because 2 times 3 is 6. And the difference between 8 and 6 is 2, so I have a remainder of 2, and that's an extra 2 out of 3, or an extra 2 of those pieces, of those 1/3 size pieces. So your answer is either 2 2/3 pounds of beans or 8/3 pounds of beans. You can record your answer either way.